Arsenal are preparing an official bid for their top transfer target after major progress in personal talks gave Andrea Berta the green light to finally submit a formal offer to Aston Villa. Meanwhile, a Mexican teenage sensation has just broken Pelé's World Cup record, and Arsenal are already in the race to sign him for just £20 million before any other club can make their move. And finally, Fabrizio Romano has delivered a bombshell update involving Bradley Barcola and Leandro Trossard that every Gooner needs to hear. So before we get into today's stories, smash the like button so you don't forget. And today, a special shout-out goes to all the Gooners from Stoke Newington and Hackney, the loyal supporters from North and East London who have worn the red and white with pride for generations. You are the heart of this club's community, and today's video is dedicated to you.
Don't forget about Arsenal, about the winger, because Arsenal will sign an important winger in the summer transfer window. That's for sure. I told you several times, it's not in doubt. And it's not based on who is going, who is staying. In any case, Arsenal will sign a top winger. Leandro Trossard could go to Besiktas. There is an agreement club to club, 18 million euros plus 2. But waiting on Leandro Trossard to decide, a delegation from Besiktas will travel to the US to have an initial conversation with Leandro Trossard to present the project. Then the player doesn't want to decide anything during the World Cup, but after the World Cup, Leandro Trossard will make a decision on Besiktas. But in any case, Arsenal want to sign a top winger. The name, the top priority they have in mind remains Morgan Rogers. Arsenal want to sign Morgan Rogers. The agreement with the player, from my understanding, is quite close. It's something that Arsenal see as close, not a problem, but Aston Villa start at £130 million. This could be eventually negotiated, we will see. But Aston Villa start at £130 million for Morgan Rogers. So very expensive. We have to see what's going to happen in the club-to-club conversations, but Arsenal are working on the Morgan Rogers deal as a top priority. Many questions today again on Barcola. Guys, on Barcola, I maintain my position. Now I see the name of Barcola linked so much to Arsenal and to other clubs. Till last week, he was untouchable. Now I see him linked to several clubs. The reality, guys, is that Barcola is not untouchable. Barcola has serious possibilities to leave Paris Saint-Germain in the summer transfer window. I maintain my information since April, and I stand by my information. I keep telling you, don't forget also Liverpool, because both Liverpool and Arsenal are calling for Barcola. Liverpool have the player on the very top of their shortlist since the summer transfer window 2025, and Liverpool remain interested in Barcola. So Barcola is 100% on the list of Liverpool. I maintain my information. Barcola is also appreciated by Arsenal, but is not position number one. Position number one is Morgan Rogers, position number two is Barcola, and there are more options in terms of wingers. So that's the situation at Arsenal. Then, important to mention, for Paris Saint-Germain is not untouchable, because the new contract talks are completely on standby, stalling for a long time. So Barcola PSG, at the moment there is no agreement over new deal. And also, important to say, PSG would ask important money. So who's going to sign Barcola? It's not just about the interest, it's also about the package of money they're going to present to Paris Saint-Germain.
Let's jump straight into the first story, because Team Talk have just dropped the update that every single Gooner has been building towards all summer. Arsenal are preparing an official bid for Morgan Rogers, personal terms are progressing, and Andrea Berta is now leading negotiations personally on what would be the biggest signing of his entire tenure at the Emirates Stadium. The detail that makes this update so significant is not just the bid itself, it is the confidence behind it. Team Talk report that Arsenal have made substantial progress in discussions with Rogers' representatives over the past few days, leaving the club increasingly certain they are the England international's preferred destination above every other club showing interest. That player preference is the decisive factor that has given Arsenal the belief to finally formalise their approach to Aston Villa and trigger the next phase of this transfer. The relationship building has been extraordinary, and Declan Rice has been working on Rogers inside the England World Cup camp all summer. Rogers was even spotted socialising with former Arsenal defender Kieran Gibbs on the day of the title parade, a detail that tells you the groundwork has been laid at multiple levels simultaneously. This is not a cold transfer inquiry. This is a pursuit that has been carefully, methodically constructed over months. But here is the obstacle that remains brutally real. Villa have maintained throughout that Rodgers is not for sale and are demanding a fee comfortably in excess of £100 million to even begin discussions. Any deal will likely need to make Rodgers the most expensive English player in history, surpassing the £116 million Manchester City paid for Elliot Anderson. That inflated benchmark has complicated Arsenal's entire summer planning, and it is the reason Berta has spent weeks trying to find creative structures involving add-ons and potential player exchanges. Arteta's vision for Rodgers is also worth understanding clearly. The Arsenal manager sees him primarily as the long-term solution on the left side of his attack, rather than as a number 10. That positioning resolves the Odegaard and Eze situation entirely and gives Arsenal a physically dominant, Premier League-proven wide forward who can lead the line on that side for the next 5 to 7 years. The left side is being rebuilt around Rodgers as the centrepiece. Trossard has already agreed personal terms with Besiktas. Martinelli is available. The space is being created deliberately and purposefully. Chelsea remain a threat. Director of Recruitment Joe Shields has a long-standing personal relationship with Rodgers. Manchester City, United and Liverpool are monitoring. But Arsenal are widely viewed as leading the chase. The player wants to come and the official bid is now being prepared. This one is close, Gooners. Get ready. So Gooners, do you believe this Rodgers deal gets done before the end of July? Or are Villa's demands going to drag this into August? Drop your prediction in the comments right now. Now let's talk about a name that most Arsenal fans will not have heard before this World Cup. But after last night's performance, the entire planet knows exactly who Gilberto Mora is. And according to Mexican outlet El Universal, Arsenal are already in the race to sign him. The headline fact is staggering. Mora became the youngest ever player to start in a World Cup knockout game when he faced England in the round of 16, surpassing a record that had been held by the great Pelé himself. Let that sink in for a moment. A teenager from Club Tijuana has just broken one of the most iconic records in the history of football's greatest tournament, on a stage watched by hundreds of millions of people across the world. And Arsenal scouts have been watching. The profile is genuinely exciting. Mora registered 10 goals for Tijuana last season and has already made over 50 senior appearances for the Mexican club, an extraordinary volume of first-team experience for a player of his age. He is a central midfielder with the technical ability, vision and composure to function in high-pressure environments, as he proved emphatically against England. And the detail that transforms this from exciting rumour to serious possibility is the release clause buried in his current contract. £20 million. In a transfer market where Newcastle are demanding £100 million for Guimaraes and Bournemouth want £80 million for Alex Scott, £20 million for a World Cup record breaker is a number that demands immediate attention. Liverpool are also interested, which tells you the level of talent being discussed here. When two of the most analytically sophisticated clubs in English football are both pursuing the same teenage midfielder at the same moment, that is not a coincidence. That is two elite recruitment departments reaching the same conclusion about the same player independently. Arsenal's history with South American talent gives them a genuine edge in this race. The club has consistently demonstrated an ability to attract players from that continent and integrate them into the Premier League at pace. At £20 million, with a release clause making the deal structurally clean and simple, this is exactly the kind of low-risk, high-ceiling addition that Berta has built his reputation on identifying. Move quickly before that clause gets triggered by someone else entirely. So Gooners, would you spend £20 million on Gilberto Mora after his Pelé record-breaking World Cup performance? Or is it too soon to be spending money on a player from Mexican football? Let me know. Alright Gooners, smash that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. It is completely free and every single Arsenal update lands directly with you the moment it breaks. Transfers, injuries, match reactions, everything. Until next time Gooners, come on you Gunners.